Puppies and porn. G'day to all you lovely people and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kathy and today I wanted to talk about Blood Rites, Book 6 in the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. I actually don't have the book with me because, silly me, instead of returning book 5 in the box set, I actually sent them back book 6. Anyway, okay, Blood Rites. In Blood Rites, the plot involves two storylines. One is in relation to the Black Court vampires that Harry is determined to wipe out. The second involves an investigation that Thomas has asked him to undertake. Apparently, a friend of his who is a film director believes he is under a curse as several women in his life are being killed as a result of magic. Thomas, if people don't recall, is a White Court vampire who we met way back in book 2. And it seems that he and Harry have, I don't even know if I can call it a friendship, but an acquaintanceship at least. They have worked together in the past, which makes me very curious to find out just why Thomas is not looking to kill Harry, considering most other vampires are. We actually start the book with Harry running, holding a box of puppies and trying to fight off this magical creature which looks like, I don't know, a deranged orangutan or something like that. Just the visual that they gave me was wonderful. I started laughing almost within the first few paragraphs of this book. And I will say that there is a lot more humour in book 6 compared to other books. Perhaps the author decided to change the pace a little because some of the previous books had been quite grim. Not that this book is light-hearted, it's simply that I noticed a lot more humour within book 6, which I was happy to see because I love the humour in Butcher's books. And I actually found it hysterically funny that Harry was oblivious that this film director he was helping was actually a porn director. That just tickled my funny bones so much. Sometimes I forget just how clueless and naive Harry is, or oblivious to so many other things that are going on in the world. Being up to book 6, we have now had 5 books in which Jim Butcher has given us a lot more information about the magical world, about the magical creatures that inhabit it, the rules regarding magic, etc. As I've said before, it seems most books deal with one specific creature, whatever that creature is. In this one, we are dealing predominantly with vampires. There are at least 3, if not more, different types of vampires in Butcher's magical world. We've already met the Red Court vampires, who are always on the peripheral because they're at war with the White Council. But we learn so much more about these different courts and the different types of vampires and just what they do. The Red Court vampires appear to be almost bat-like. The White Court vampires are completely different yet again. They look relatively normal. They can go out into sunlight. What they do is seduce people and take a little bit of their life force every time they do. The Black Court vampires seem to be vampires similar to Bram Stoker's Dracula, in that they can be killed with stakes, etc. In fact, I think there is a comment in one of the books that they have been diminished ever since the book by Bram Stoker was released, which apparently the White Council organised. I really enjoy those little bits of lore, I guess, that Butcher includes in the books. Sometimes I like to imagine that maybe there is a White Council out there. Maybe there really are vampires as well. Well, like I said, I just imagine it. I don't really believe it, but it'd be nice sometimes to think that there is a lot more to our world than what we know, especially considering I am a skeptic. Anyway, in my opinion, I found the White Court vampires the most insidious of the lot because they look like everyone else, because you could easily mistake them for just regular people, whereas they are still predators just as much as the others, and ruthless, and using sex, because that's what we're talking about, to seduce people, to take away part of people's life force, is quite horrific. It involves mind control as well. So all these things that I really despise, which made it hard for me to then reconcile my liking for Thomas, because I always did like Thomas. In Blood Rites, there aren't a lot of new characters. There are several, but not many. Mainly, we meet up again with Thomas and Kincaid and Ebenezer, Harry's old mentor, who took him in when he was very young and on probation from the White Council. We also see a lot of familiar faces like Susan. I can't remember if the wolf pack is in this one. Perhaps they are. Billy and Georgina tend to appear in most of the books, but in a very minor role. It seemed that book 6 was more about who Harry is. There are 2 major revelations that we learn in this book. One regarding Thomas and the other Ebenezer. Both of which have a profound impact on Harry. I can't tell you what they are without going into spoilers, so I will deal with them in the spoiler part of this review. This book was more an exploration of Harry himself, of his story, of who his family was, his parents, of his time with Ebenezer, of the things that shaped him as a child. We learn a lot more about Harry's mother, for example, who has always been this very mysterious figure, and who we have been given hints that she might have strayed to the dark side as such. Now I'm going to talk about what I liked and what I didn't like about this book, and then I'll get into the spoilers. What I really liked about this book was the humour, and there was a lot of humour in this one. I guess it was to be expected, right? Porn and puppies, seriously. I loved the character of Thomas. I always did, actually. He seemed interesting. He seemed very much a maverick. We had been given previously some information regarding Thomas, that he was not liked in the White Court, even though his father was head of the White Court vampires. And I wanted to learn so much more about him, and we do in book 6. We learn so much more, not just about Thomas, but also about the White Court of vampires and members of his family who we haven't met previously. I also really liked that Murphy played a major role in book 6. We got to see her in action, not just as a police officer, but also as a hero within her own right, where she is prepared to cross that line no matter how uncomfortable it makes her. And I loved seeing that conflict within her, of trying to reconcile her principles with breaking the law that she is sworn to uphold. That just added so much more layers to this character of Murphy, who is, as I've said before, a favourite of mine. I also liked seeing Kincaid again. He was so mysterious and dangerous that I was curious to find out more about him, and we do learn a lot more about him in this book. Then there is also Ebenezer, who we have met previously, but we get to spend a lot more time with in this book, which gave us a much better idea of his character. I really enjoyed seeing these characters explored more And as always, I love how Butcher just adds more and more layers to his magical world, to the different politics and groups and forces that drive, say, a particular species or creature. So what didn't I like? There are a few things I didn't like, actually. There is a scene between Murphy and Kincaid which I thought was way too heavy-handed. He basically insulted her, and I thought, no, this isn't in line with this character, and it just seemed too clumsy for my taste. It kind of put me off, actually. I thought, what? I will admit it, that was my reaction. When I read it, I thought, no way anyone with any grain of intelligence would say something like that to a woman. And yet Kincaid just kept pushing it and pushing it. And I thought that was far too heavy-handed. What else bothered me? There are basically two finales in this book. One is in relation to the Black Court vampires, the other in relation to the White Court vampires. I really enjoyed the first. It was extremely suspenseful, with a little bit of funny bits here and there as well. But I thought that was very well done, and I found it compelling reading. I just could not stop. However, after this wonderful finale, we then had to deal with the White Court, and it just seemed so anticlimactic, even though in itself the finale was very well done. It just seemed a little lukewarm, a little boring, actually. Okay, red alert. I'm going to get into spoilers now because I feel that that is as much as I can say without touching on a spoiler. Now, I mentioned how I liked that there were two finales, but I didn't like the one with the White Court. I found the confrontation at the end between Harry and Thomas's father in some ways really powerful, and in other ways weak, boring, dragged out. I did really like the mind games he played with Murphy in particular. That part was very well done, but it just seemed to go on, and I found myself a little bored, actually, just wanting it over with. Yeah. As I've said, there are two major revelations in this book, and when I say major, they are. The first involves Thomas, who we learn is Harry's half-brother. They share the same mother. There is a scene where both Harry and Thomas talk to their mother, even though she is dead. That I had a little trouble comprehending exactly how it worked. But I will admit I was glad for Harry, especially after he met Karen Murphy's family. It was quite clear that Harry really missed having that bond of family. I know sometimes that we wish that we weren't part of the same family, but those ties, those connections, that bond we have with them is irreplaceable as well. Now, I've dealt with the revelation regarding Thomas. The other involves Ebenezer. This one, am I surprised? No. In essence, we learned that Ebenezer is a fixer, an assassin. He breaks the 7 laws of magic when the White Council wants something done that under their own rules they're not allowed to do. Wow, I have so much trouble with this concept. I know this happens in our own lives. However, it is the height of hypocrisy to expect everyone else to follow the rules, whereas certain people don't have to. That hypocrisy, yeah. Wow, I cannot tell you how much it bothers me. Because the White Council is this governing body for wizards who actually execute people when they break the law. Who oversees the White Council then? Who decides that? This small group on the White Council? Wow, yeah, I have so many objections to this whole concept. So I was as outraged as Harry and as angry as Harry. And I completely understood his feelings of betrayal. It was actually really sad though to see, because he really loved Ebenezer, he respected him and admired him. And Ebenezer destroyed all of that. Harry is an extremely complex character who has been so shaped by his childhood in particular, of being forced into using black magic to fight off his first mentor, Justin. And then, as a young boy, threatened with death if he broke the laws of magic again. And to find out that Ebenezer wasn't just his mentor, but his possible executioner, who actually steps out of those laws when it suits him, when the White Council decides it's appropriate. I completely understood his feelings of betrayal. Did I like it? I loved it. Yeah, just because I don't like what happens doesn't mean I can't appreciate the idea. It just added so much more to Harry, to who he is. And I'm very curious to find out how it is going to shape him in the future, because it would make him mistrustful. I wouldn't blame him. And if he hasn't already, I'm sure he will lose complete respect for the White Council, because I did. I really did. So I really enjoyed these twists that sets everything on its head, that changes somebody's reality of their world, because that is what this did. It changed Harry's view, not just of Ebenezer, but also of the White Council, of the laws of magic. Perhaps he's an idealist. Perhaps I am too. But when there is a strict adherence to laws required of others, and yet not everyone, it destroys your faith in an institution. Yeah, I love that part. If I haven't said it already, I absolutely loved that revelation regarding Ebenezer. The one about Thomas, I did really like it, that Harry won't be alone or as alone anymore. But part of me felt like it was, "No, Luke, I am your father," kind of revelation. They always troubled me a bit. Oh, the porn. I didn't deal with the film director's storyline. Okay. It was connected to, obviously, the White Court, who clearly have a hand in the porn industry because it suits them. That is their ideal method of feeding, right? Through sex. It was an interesting side story as such. But what happened between Thomas and his sister, who turned on him? I thought that scene was fantastic and so unexpected, unpredictable. I knew that they didn't have great affection for each other, but I never expected that. So that was a nice touch. And I also liked that she took over running the White Court. She was an impressive character. I thought she was smart as hell, manipulative, Machiavellian. Definitely. They all are, really. And I would like to see more of her in the future. The last thing I wanted to talk about was Harry's hand being burned so severely. He's so tough, this guy, isn't he? Or this character is anyway. He had to then deal with the White Court, even though he really should have been in a hospital. This was such an emotional roller coaster of a book for Harry himself, I mean. Obviously, this is going to have major impact on Harry. Not only did he almost lose his hand, but he also learns of a profound betrayal, which is, I guess, balanced by learning he has a brother. Did I like Blood Rites? I actually really did. I loved the humour in this one. It was hysterical. The puppy, oh, he's so cute. But I have a thing for dogs, right? So that is not unexpected. So there was a lot of humour in this, and yet there was so much, I don't want to call it grief, but pain as well that Harry was having to deal with. And that balanced the book up for me. I love this one because I learned so much more about Harry, about his life, about his childhood. I definitely recommend Blood Rites, and for a score, I'm going to give this one 6 to 6.5. I can never decide, 6 or 6.5. I actually think it probably deserves 6.5. Well, let me know what you thought of Blood Rites. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? You know, I always want to hear your opinions. And you can let me know down in the comments, or you can contact me on Instagram. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as usual, you can like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.